Hey everyone, it's your girl Jossie, aka J Renee, back at it again with another video. So today we're gonna be making this denim patchwork vinyl bag, and I know you're gonna love it. So before we get into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications so you don't miss a video. Also, give this video a like and you've just made my day. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. This is just a quick sketch, nothing fancy, but it works. So I'm taking my vinyl. I've already cut the pieces. I have the middle part that's in the center. I have my strap pieces and my two basic pieces. I've used this tote bag as like an example, as like my pattern or whatever, just trace them out on the vinyl. And so I'm taking my jeans, my scrap leftover jeans from other projects, and before I do anything with that, I have to mark out this square that's 3 by 3 inches, I think, yeah, and then cut that out all the way, and I'm gonna use that as the pattern template for my jeans. But first, on the vinyl, on one of the sides of the vinyl, we're going to mark an inch, basically seam allowance for the outside edge. We're going to mark 1 inch all the way around. And so using this square pattern that I have, I'm basically marking out where I want to put the jean squares before I even cut them out. I'm just marking where I want them. I want them not every other square, but kind of like that. I don't know. This part is optional because like you can just cut out the squares and lay them out however you want them. But after I did that, I know I'm gonna need them for both sides, well, just the outside part. So that 1 inch seam allowance line on the outside, I'm making for both sides because I'm gonna need 2 sides of them. I'm counting them here, and in total there are 34 squares. So I know I need to cut 68 squares because I need them for both sides of the bag. So I'm taking my jeans and just cutting out all the squares that I need. I'm only cutting out a couple here, but in the end you should have 68 or however many you want to put on your bag. And then I just like put them in different sections by different colors so they wouldn't be like color coded. I wanted it random as possible. And so I'm putting the squares on the spaces that I marked that I wanted to have a bunch of squares. I didn't do this in any particular order. I just wanted kind of maybe thicker at the bottom, not really, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm pinning them all down so I can sew them later. And this part is optional. I took a bottom piece from the pant just maybe to break up the space at the top of the bag. I mean, it looks like the bottom, but it's gonna be the top. So I'm just pinning that there, and I'll sew it down later with the rest of the squares. So now let's just sew all of those squares down so then they'll look pretty. And a disclaimer, vinyl and sewing machines are not enemies, but they are really close to it. Vinyl is very stubborn and it doesn't really want to go through everything. When you have a lot of movement and it's a lot of vinyl in the way of the sewing machine, it just does not want to work well. So I'm just taking my time, doing the best I can to get all the squares down. This took a long time, like a really, really long time. So this 12-minute video is not anything compared to how much time this took. So here, after I've sewn them all down, I'm cutting off the excess because I wanted little fraying, and I also wanted there to be some space between the squares on this vinyl. So I'm just gonna take my little sweet time and cut out all the excess from the seam allowance. And that's how it should look. We're gonna use 2 layers so for the bag. So we're gonna put another layer of vinyl over top of the denim squares, and then we're gonna sew that all down. We're gonna pin it and sew it all down, just like that. Now we need 2 of those for 2 of the sides of the bag. And now that we have all of that sewn down, it is time to sew them together. But first I'm going to cut off all the excess. I'm going to use this long piece. This is the center part, like that green part that you saw is going to be in between the two panels of the bag. So I'm cutting it to make sure it's even and making sure that I have enough. I sewed down the top of it so there wouldn't be like a raw edge or whatever. It's vinyl, but yeah. Now I'm pinning them together on that one side, making sure everything is lined up. For the sewing machine, you gotta pin everything with stuff like this, like pin every single little thing, especially the corners, because they don't play any games. So now that we have that all pinned down, we're just gonna sew that down with a straight stitch. I'm only using straight stitches here, nothing fancy. It's vinyl. It's not my first time working with vinyl, but this was a big project for something like this, and it took like hours to just put everything on there, especially those squares. Oh my gosh. So take your time with this. If you ever use vinyl, just know that it is a struggle, and it sticks to the bottom of the presser foot and all of that sometimes, so you just never know. Take your time and do you, boo. Now that that's all sewn down, again, we're gonna cut off the excess just to make sure that it has a clean fold when we fold it inside out. For the next thing, before we add this top piece, we're gonna top stitch. I don't know why I top stitched this. I kind of wanted it to lay down a little flatter, but it is vinyl and it's a struggle, so I don't know. I didn't top stitch the corners because I just couldn't get the sewing machine through there, so I just top stitched what I could. Now we're gonna add the other side of the bag, making sure that the front side is facing the other side, and just pin along that same line with the same piece that we used from before, all the way around, the same thing as before. And then go sew that just like we did the other one. So now it's time for the straps. So these straps, I don't know the exact measurements. I just used that tote bag, so for reference, just use a tote bag because I don't have any really exact measurements. I cut this piece of vinyl to be even on both sides and folded it in half and sewed that down as best as I could. Now I'm going to take this scrap long piece of fabric and cutting it smaller in size to fit this vinyl piece. So it's going to be really thin because these are for the straps. Remember, you need 2 of them, so cut 2 of both the vinyl and this scrap piece. And to put it through, I'm using another piece of vinyl. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to safety pin those together and pull that vinyl that's inside the strap vinyl and pull the denim all the way through. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a piece inside, and I'm just gonna pull that all the way through because I don't really know how else to pull it through without taking out the stitch. So that's what I did and tried to center it off. There wasn't the exact same size as the vinyl, but that's okay, in length. And now I'm gonna fold that edge over so we don't have any raw edges. So next I'm going to pin the handles to the bag, and I'm going to sew in like a square motion. So both on the front and back side, you need 2 handles, yeah, obviously. And so that's exactly how it should look, sewing that square. And we are almost finished basically. We just have to do this bottom piece, because you know how bags have that piece at the bottom for sturdiness and make sure it stands up straight. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to cut out a big piece of denim, measure this bottom part. I don't really know what the measurement was. Ew, my head's in the way, that's disgusting. Measure that bottom part, the length and the width of it, and make that denim piece and a vinyl piece that same length, that same size exactly, and then sew them together. I ironed this for some reason. This is the only piece that I've ironed, I think. But that's, yeah, it's going on the bottom. So I'm just taking another piece of vinyl. Where did I get the vinyl from? I got it from Walmart, I think. And it was this big thing of vinyl. It's supposed to be like a seat cover for your car. But I just got it because I knew I was going to use it one day. and look at me using it. So yeah, I'm cutting this vinyl in half again because I'm gonna have it as flat as possible. I'm gonna put the fabric in between the vinyl and sew all the way around as a rectangle, and that's pretty much it. All I had to do was put that rectangle at the bottom of the bag just like that, and our bag is basically finished, and that's how it should look on the bottom and all the way around. Some finishing touches, we're just gonna cut off this top. I don't know why I left it as a raw edge, but I did. And that's it. That's the bag. I wasn't exactly feeling it at first. I feel like it was a little too basic, but paired with the right stuff, I think this looks really cute, especially like on the beach or at the pool, like a water scene, because it's vinyl, so it's not gonna get messed up or anything. I think it's just perfect for the outdoors. It's really cute, and I hope you make something with vinyl. Let me know in the comments below if you ever have, or if you ever will, or if I've inspired you to try something new. So yes, in these clips, like, this bag actually looks really cute. I paired it with this denim half and half outfit that I made from jeans. And yes, so thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.